The first time supermodel Iman met David Bowie, it felt like a scene from a fairy tale. They went on a blind date, but their connection was anything but normal. During their 24 years together, they became one of the most famous couples, with Bowie's art and Iman's style perfectly complementing each other. After Bowie's death in 2016, Iman talked about their love and promised to keep his legacy alive. Join us as we explore the epic love story between Iman and David Bowie, learn about the legacy they left behind, and see how their daughter now shines as a beautiful reflection of their bond. Iman's early life and strong roots. Iman was born Zahra Muhammad Abdulmajid in Mogadishu, Somalia. And her family's traditions and grandfather's dreams shaped her early years. She was raised in a Muslim home and was given the name Iman, which means faith in Arabic. Her grandfather thought that her strong, masculine name would help her succeed, and it seems to have. Iman's father, Muhammad Abdulmajid, was a diplomat who served as Somalia's ambassador to Saudi Arabia. Her mother, Mariam, was a gynecologist. Iman has 2 brothers and 2 sisters. She was the first girl, born in 6 generations of sons in her family, which was a big deal for them, and made her a special part of their history. When she was young, Iman lived with her grandparents. At age 4, she moved to a boarding school in Egypt, where she spent her childhood and teen years. Later her father moved the family back to Mogadishu because of the unrest in Somalia. But this return was short-lived because soon after, her family moved to Kenya to find stability at the University of Nairobi, where Iman studied political science for a short time, before a surprising turn in her life changed everything. While she was still in college, Iman caught the eye of American photographer Peter Beard because of her striking looks, long neck, and slim body. Beard, who saw her copper-colored skin and encouraged her to become a model, soon after she moved to the United States, saw her and gave her her first job with Vogue in 1976. It didn't take long for Iman to rise to the top of the fashion world, with a look that was both unique and elegant. Iman became a favorite among designers, and her typically Somali beauty, as she so humbly describes it, made her an instant sensation. She went on to grace the covers of the world's leading fashion magazines. Gianni Versace, Calvin Klein, Linda Holston, Donna Karan, and Yves Saint Laurent were some of the most famous designers of her time. Yves Saint Laurent called Iman his dream woman and held her in high regard. Because of these experiences, Iman became a true muse, inspiring many designers. Collections with her timeless beauty and unique look. Even today, Iman's influence is still strong, as shown by Test Management in London, where she stands as a symbol of elegance, strength, and cultural pride. But what about David Bowie? David Bowie was born David Bowie, and is known as the chameleon of rock. Robert Jones, born on January 8, 1947 in England, was one of the most important musicians of the 20th century. His path to fame wasn't easy. He loved music from a young age and studied art, music, and design before starting his career as a musician in 1963, but his first attempts weren't successful. He had a string of singles that didn't get much attention, and he even put out a solo album in 1967 that didn't get much attention. Then, in 1969, Bowie finally broke through with the song Space Oddity. The single hit the Bowie's first real success was in the UK charts, but he wasn't done experimenting. In 1972, he came back with a new look, style, and persona, Ziggy Stardust. Ziggy, who was known for his flashy clothes and androgynous appearance, became a cultural icon thanks to hits like Starman from the album The Rise and Fall of Ziggy, Stardust, and The Spiders from Mars. Bowie's bold style caught people's attention, and fans were immediately drawn to his unique and fearless approach to music and appearance. As the years went on, Bowie kept changing. In 1975, he switched to a style he called plastic soul, which leaned more toward American sounds. This change confused some fans in the UK, but it brought him new success in the US, especially with the hit song Fame and the album Young Americans. The next year, Bowie took another risk in both music and movies, by starring in the cult movie The Man Who Fell to Earth, and releasing the album Station to Station, which had a darker, more experimental sound. In the late 1970s, Bowie continued to try new things. The Berlin Trilogy, which Bowie made with musician Brian Eno, includes the albums Low Heroes and Lodger, which has songs like Heroes. These albums got good reviews, and added another layer to Bowie's legacy. Bowie's sound and style were always changing, and he wasn't afraid to take risks, even if it meant losing fans or going into the unknown. By the 1980s, Bowie was one of the biggest names in music. His 1980 single Ashes to Ashes was a hit, and he had achieved amazing commercial success. After trying out new styles with his band Tin Machine in the late 1980s, Bowie went back to working on his own, and became interested in electronic and industrial music in the 1990s and 2000s. He also had a number of acting roles, including memorable ones as Jareth, the Goblin King in Labyrinth, and Nikola Tesla in The Prestige. During his lifetime, Bowie sold over 100 million records, making him one of the best-selling musicians of all time. He won 6 Grammy Awards, and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Bowie was a global superstar by the end of the 1980s, known for his unforgettable music, bold stage presence, and creative reinvention. Even after his death, Bowie's influence is still felt by fans around the world, and he was named the best-selling vinyl artist of the 21st century in 2022. Now the real question is, what brought a supermodel like Iman and a rock legend like Bowie together? This is the untold love story of when David Bowie met Iman. Bowie had a hole in his heart that wasn't filled by his music. According to Teddy Annalyn, Bowie's longtime hairdresser and friend, he said that Bowie felt lonely at times, despite his famous career. Teddy remembered that David was very lonely. It was sad that after all the hard work he did every day, he was still alone. Bowie wanted someone who understood him beyond his rock and roll persona, and a partner to share his life with. Then there was a night that would change everything. Iman was a beautiful supermodel and philanthropist who decided to play matchmaker at a party in Los Angeles. He immediately thought of his friend Bowie, but it wasn't easy to get him to go. Bowie lived in New York, and Iman was in Los Angeles. Teddy brought them together by inviting Bowie to his birthday dinner in LA, and making sure Iman would go. The stage was set for a fateful encounter. But neither Bowie nor Iman could have imagined how life-changing this evening would be. Love at first sight. Bowie arrived in style, in a white Mustang and all-white denim ensemble. Iman soon followed in a black Mercedes, an all-black leather ensemble. It was a sight that caught everyone's attention. As Teddy put it, it was like electricity in the air. The room's energy changed when Bowie and Iman laid eyes on each other. Bowie's gaze never wavered, and the chemistry between them was palpable. Teddy remembered how they spent the evening deeply involved, and it was as if they had known each other forever. For Bowie, Iman, on the other hand, needed a little more time. Bowie was undeniably charming, and his attraction was clear, but Iman was wary. She was drawn to his magnetic personality, but she needed time to warm up to him. Later, in an interview with People in 2021, Iman laughed and said, "David, it was love at first sight. It took me a few months, but I got there." She felt something deeper, but she held back. Bowie, on the other hand, was not a man to let his guard down. He didn't give up easily. He took it upon himself to win her heart, and he did it in a way that was nothing short of charming. Not long after they met, Iman left for Paris to walk in a fashion show, but Bowie didn't let the distance hurt his feelings. Instead, he decided to properly woo her while she was gone. He sent flowers to her hotel room, each bouquet a reminder of how much he loved her, and when she came back, he was waiting for her at the airport, a gesture that touched Iman deeply. Wooed me by showing her a more thoughtful, patient, and romantic side of him. Bowie's hard work paid off. He had shown Iman that he was more than just a rock star. He was a man ready to be a devoted partner. By the time Iman returned, she started to see him in a new light. Bowie's persistence showed that he wasn't looking for a short-term relationship. He was looking for a true connection. By 2000, Bowie himself said, "She would be my wife in my head. I knew she was the one. I'd never been so passionate about something in my life." Their relationship moved quickly, but not without some doubt. Bowie proposed to Iman soon after they started dating, but she didn't say yes right away. When her friend Teddy asked her about it, she told him that Teddy had asked her, and she had said no. Iman explained that even though she loved Bowie, she needed him to meet her family and understand that he was marrying, not just her, but her family. Bowie proposed again, but this time he pulled out all the stops. He took Iman on a romantic trip to the Adriatic Sea and proposed on his yacht in the Bosor Strait. This time, Iman said yes, and Bowie gave her a 15-carat star sapphire ring that he had found just for her. They also chose a Bowie wanted everything to be perfect, and for Iman, the two rings represented their deep connection and love of beautiful things. Their engagement was both a promise and a celebration of the bond they had built. On April 24, 1992, Bowie and Iman got married in a quiet ceremony at Lone City Hall in Switzerland. Their love was officially sealed, but the celebrations didn't end there. A few weeks later, on June 6th, they had a big wedding in a Tuscan villa in Italy with Teddy was there, and remembered the event as nothing less than magical. David was very happy. He never looked better. He was so sharp, he said, describing how happy Bowie was. Bowie even made a playlist for the night that mixed dance music with a few of his own tracks to show the guests his playful side. In the years that followed, Iman had a huge effect on Bowie, and his friend Teddy said that Bowie even changed his lifestyle by quitting drinking and becoming more active. Bowie later said that he had to put in extra effort to impress Iman, which shows how much she affected him positively. Their love changed Bowie, making him a better person while still staying true to his artistic spirit. Bowie and Iman were together for over 20 years, and their love was based on their shared values and strong foundations. When David Bowie and Iman met, both had been married before and knew what they wanted in a partner. David had been a rock star for many years. Iman was a fashion icon for over 20 years, but fame wasn't enough for them. They wanted a deeper connection based on shared values and life goals. In an interview with the New York Times in 2021, Iman said, "We knew what we wanted from each other." They were both mature, grounded, and ready to live life with a clear purpose, not only for themselves, but for each other. "I know my identity, and David knew his when we met, and we agreed to live life with a purpose." She also said that this shared focus had helped keep their relationship strong over the years. In ways that went beyond the surface, they understood each other. Bowie had already lived the high life of a rock star, but with Iman, he found a partner who valued stability and purpose just as much as he did. When asked about remarrying after David's death, Iman told People magazine, "He's not my late husband, he's my husband." Their love, which was based on respect and mutual understanding, had a lasting effect on both of their lives, even after he died. David's feelings for Iman were strong from the start. "I was immediately and completely attracted to her, and I couldn't sleep for the excitement of our first date." Bowie once told Hello magazine that he often called her intolerably sexy, which showed how taken he was by her presence. Iman also found Bowie irresistible, and she later told People that David was beyond handsome and oozed charisma. Their chemistry wasn't just about physical attraction. It was also about feeling truly loved and cared for. In an interview, Bowie said that being with Iman made him feel incredibly happy. Iman, for her part, said that she felt loved and safe when she was with him. Their relationship was deep and full of respect, which made them one of the most admired couples in both the fashion and music worlds. But despite their larger-than-life personalities, they looked at each other with genuine admiration, which grounded their love in reality. Unlike many celebrity relationships, Bowie and Iman's relationship was based on love, respect, admiration, and genuine affection. They were one of the few couples that went beyond the stereotypical rock star model cliché and built a relationship that was both deep and lasting. During their marriage, Bowie and Iman kept a low profile, making their relationship their own, instead of a public spectacle. Iman has often talked about how their relationship was filled with love and respect, with thoughtful actions that made her feel loved and appreciated. She talked about an early memory of Bowie stopping on a busy street to tie her shoelaces, a simple but heartfelt act that she would never forget. "That is my perfect person," she thought. It was these small, thoughtful actions that made their relationship unique, blending perfectly with the bigger, more flashy ones. Bowie once gave her a rare Birkin bag as a sign of his love and care for her, a private life they treasured together. Fame wasn't the center of Bowie and Iman's life. Instead, they focused on building a home together, which Iman told The Guardian, "David is even more of a homebody than I am. At least I go to parties once in a while." By the time they met, Bowie had given up the crazy rock star lifestyle, and both he and Iman were determined to keep their privacy. "David and I were both very protective of our privacy," Iman told the New York Times, revealing that their home people weren't allowed to see his bedroom or family life. In Iman's words, "I fell in love with David Jones. I did not fall in love with David Bowie. Bowie is just a persona, he's a singer and entertainer. David Jones is a man I met for on loving, Bowie meant loving. The man behind the fame, the man who preferred quiet nights at home over red carpet events. Together they built a life focused on each other and their daughter. Lexi was born in 2000. Bowie's family became his greatest joy and Iman's grounding. Because they both wanted privacy, they could focus on what was important to them and their family. Even after Bowie's untimely death, Iman has held on to the deep love they shared. Beyond death, David Bowie's death on January 10, 2016, shattered the music world and left an irreplaceable void in Iman's life. In an interview, she talked about her grief, saying, "People tell me, you're so strong. I'm just trying to keep it together." After Bowie died, Iman focused on helping their daughter Lexi deal with her grief. It wasn't until she spent some time at their family home in upstate New York that she was able to deal with her own grief. She said that during the pandemic, she was stuck there and finally faced the heartbreak she had been carrying for Iman. "Bowie isn't gone, he's not my late husband. He's my husband," she said, adding that she finds comfort in small things, even seeing him in nature. Iman felt a deep connection to Bowie when she saw a bluebird fly by on a hike, especially since a bluebird is mentioned in Bowie's song Lazarus. For Iman, Bowie is still present in their memories, in his music and in the love they shared. After Bowie's death, people often asked Iman if she would ever think about getting married again, and her answer was always no. Lexi once asked her mother if she would ever get married again, and Iman told her, "I still feel married." The connection between Iman and Bowie is special, and in an interview with Harper's Bazaar in 2021, she said, "David is in our hearts and minds, every day, for all of us." Iman believes that Bowie was her soulmate, her once-in-a-lifetime partner, and nothing could replace him. She holds on to the memories of their life together, remembering moments that now feel like treasures for her. She doesn't want to marry someone else because it would mean moving on from Bowie, and she said that their love is so strong that she doesn't feel the need to find someone else. David Bowie was famous for his groundbreaking music, his alter ego, Ziggy Stardust, but one of his proudest accomplishments was his family. On August 15, 2000, Bowie and Iman, who was his second wife, welcomed their daughter, Alexandria Alexis Zara Jones. For Bowie, having a child with Iman was a cherished milestone, and he looked forward to becoming a hands-on dad, saying, "It's been a long and patient wait for our baby, but both Iman and I wanted the circumstances." He wanted to focus on his family and make sure Lexi had a safe place to be herself. His family life was all about the fame and glamour of fame. But Iman said they were just a normal family who shared moments together, like Bowie playing music with Lexi, even though they were a famous family. Iman told Lexi to stay out of the spotlight as much as possible, because she wanted her daughter to enjoy her childhood in peace, which was something Iman herself hadn't had the chance to do. This advice shaped Lexi's childhood, and with her parents' fame, Lexi grew up with a sense of normalcy, but she has kept her life pretty private. Iman, who knows the pressures of fame, told Lexi to stay out of the public eye as long as she could. Lexi's decision to stay private became especially clear on her 18th birthday, when Iman shared a series of photos of her. Modeling offers came in right away, but a man turned them all down, telling her daughter, "This can all wait. Have a life that is private while you can, because enjoy this because one day it will be public." Even though Lexi doesn't pose for pictures, she has made her own creative path. She is an artist who posts drawings and paintings on Instagram, showing off her unique style with abstract characters and bright colors. Her artwork, which she sometimes prints on clothing and accessories, shows how deeply she feels about art. On her website, she says that art is a form of meditation for her, and a place where she can freely express herself. Lexi's goal is to inspire others to find their own passions, and her art is a way for her to connect with the world while still keeping her privacy. But did you know that David Bowie also had a son? Duncan Zoe Jones was born in 1971 to Bowie's first wife, model and actress Angie. Bowie Duncan's early life was a mix of fame and family, as he was known as Zoe Bowie in the press, but as he grew up, he chose to go with the more normal name Duncan instead of his childhood nickname Zoe. Duncan did very well in school. He went to a top boarding school in Scotland, then to Ohio to study philosophy. After that, he came back to England to follow his passion for film at the London International Film School, and graduated in 2001. Bowie was very supportive of Duncan's choice, but he waited patiently as his son found his path. When Duncan finally directed his first movie, Moon, in 2009, Bowie felt a huge sense of pride. Duncan remembers their emotional moment at the Sundance Film Festival, saying he's been Duncan's first movie, Moon. Got good reviews, and even won a BAFTA award. Bowie continued to support his son's filmmaking, even though he might wait until the movies were finished to watch them. The two often kept in touch through weekly Skype calls and visits, where they talked about life and art. Duncan has since directed more movies, like Source Code 2011 and Warcraft: The Beginning 2016, which show his skill in telling sci-fi and fantasy stories, along with his After a Short Engagement. Duncan married photographer Rodine Ronello in 2012, just after Rodine was diagnosed with breast cancer and started treatment. The couple went on to have 2 children together. Their son Stenton David Jones was born 6 months after Bowie's death, and their daughter Zavi Talami Jones was born in 2018. Lexi's relationship with her father is still very important to her. On the anniversary of Bowie's death in 2018, Lexi honored Bowie's memory with a tattoo of a crescent moon with the words, "Daddy XX and his birth and death years, 1947 to 2016. It was a beautiful and personal way to keep him close." In January 2023, she shared a precious video of herself playing the keyboard with her father as a child, along with a photo of the two of them under an umbrella, with the caption, "7 years ago today, I miss you." Lexi has also shown a deep interest in music, which is a natural extension of her father's legacy. In 2021, she posted a video of herself singing an original song, saying she was nervous about doing so. "I keep going back and forth between hating it and liking it, but F it," she wrote, describing her rough take on the song while she was drunk. Her art, like her music, seems to be a way for her to process and express her feelings, much like her father did throughout his life. Since Bowie's death in 2016, Mann has continued to honor his memory in touching ways. She often corrects people when they refer to Bowie. She talks about Bowie as her perfect person and says, "He's ever present with me." Her love for him has become a source of strength for her, and she cherishes the time they spent together. She wishes everyone could have this kind of lasting connection at least once in their lives, calling it a profound gift that shapes her days. Iman feels Bowie's presence all around her, especially in their home, where she often thinks of the wonderful times they had together. Iman said that her memories of Bowie are now less about his death and more about the wonderful years they spent together. One of her favorite reminders is the beautiful view of the sunset from their home, which Bowie loved. When she watches the sunset, she feels like Bowie is still with her. Since he died, she has also worn a necklace with his name on it every day, which was a gift from designer Hedi Slimane. Through Iman's memories, Bowie's legacy lives on through a love that defied the limits of time and life itself. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more interesting stories.